Thank you.
Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, my name is Chad Novak. I'm here on behalf of the Saskatchewan Taxpayers Advocacy Group, and I guess I should clarify that I am a chartered professional accountant, so I completely understand some of the accounting ease that was going along there. I'm sure a lot of people don't understand it. It's confusing at best sometimes, but just so that Mr. Archer is aware, it's not foreign to me. The question that I had, and it still hasn't been answered, is what is the actual surplus? I appreciate that an audit will provide assurance that in all material aspects, the financial statements are accurately reflecting the actual situation that the city of Regina is in. I don't question that. My question is, based on the items that I brought forward to you today, page 116 of the report, page 146 of the full PDF, those numbers simply don't make sense. So please clarify that. An auditor simply wouldn't be looking at that, or if they did, maybe they overlooked it, whatever. I mean, audits are random samples, we all know that. So that being said, further to the report here on 1620, I understand, like I said earlier, I understand our policy is that surplus will definitely go back to reserves. I don't feel this is a responsible way of managing things. I understand this is probably the agreed upon way of doing things in the past. Maybe some of our council doesn't even realize that in the past that was how it's been agreed upon. I don't know. Just based on how the last year's surplus went and the significant delegation that happened just surrounding what to do with that extra $1.5 million or whatever it was. To me, that tells me that council isn't aware of that situation, that they can opt every single year to put that surplus to wherever they feel like. I do not agree with the fact that it could be negative in the future because it may realize increased taxes. That justification simply doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. I won't go further into detail on that today, maybe on the next city council. When we're talking about surplus, when we're talking about reserves, when we're talking about over almost $500 million currently in investments alone, we're pulling in, I think last year's numbers were $17 million more in interest revenue than what we even budgeted for. And based on what Mr. Archer had said, we're budgeting conservatively, which is great. I like that. I'm a risk-averse person as well. I like that concept, which means typically 9 times out of 10, we're going to be in a situation, as was supported by Mr. Archer, that we're going to have a surplus because we're budgeting conservatively for numbers, and typically things will work out better than they are. Investments, the interest that I have a question on that as well, and from the accounting perspective, if we're putting money out for interest on loans, I would say all the time, the interest is going to be higher than it would be if what we're earning, regardless of how low our interest rate is. It's just the general nature of finances. So my question is, are we actually looking at reutilizing that interest revenue and the investment money, because the opportunity cost there is quite significant, and it'll always be a situation where we're going to be paying less rather than going out and getting new debt. Again, we have $500 million sitting in investments. What else do I have on here? I think that's pretty much all I have to say, is the fact that, I think that we need to really sit down and revisit this whole situation where our policy currently is flawed. I'm glad that we have a situation that we budget conservatively. I'm glad that realizes. I would like to know, the last 10, 20, 30 years, what has the result been? Has it been 100%? We've always realized the surplus compared to what we budgeted, 90%, 80%. Surely we can get that statistics, and I think that would support the concept of potentially adjusting policy so that we're putting money back to the general operating fund rather than going back to the taxpayers first and foremost.
Mr. Novak, you have 30 seconds left.
Thank you. Finally, when we're talking about the interest revenue, I forgot about that. When we're bringing this interest revenue in, it's a very important question, and I hope that someone can answer this, is the interest that we bring in on these investments, are we reinvesting those into investments, or are we utilizing those towards operating funds? I thank you for your time, and I will gladly answer any questions you may have.
Questions of our delegation? Seeing none, thanks very much.
Thank you.
You can return to the gallery.